Hi there. It's the 9th of March 2024, and a top US official has in the recent days stated that African states should be recolonized by the United States, and he stated that the Africans are not capable of governing themselves. The governments are corrupt, they are looting and plundering, and they are sending refugees to the United States, so they should be recolonized. I'll let you listen to Erik Prince, and then I'll discuss the implications of what he is saying later on.
In Europe, in the United States, it ultimately comes down to a contest of what is governance. Who is governed? Which countries are governed well? And if so many of these countries around the world are incapable of governing themselves, then it's time for us to just put the imperial hat back on to say, we're going to govern those countries if you're incapable of governing yourselves, because enough is enough. We're done being invaded.
Because our own national security risk is at stake.
Exactly.
National security interests are at stake.
You can say that about pretty much all of Africa. They're incapable of governing themselves and benefiting their citizens, because the governments there are all about looting and pillaging and lining their pockets and going shopping in Paris instead of actually making their country better.
People on the left are going to watch this. They're going to say, wait a minute, Erik Prince is talking about being a colonialist again.
Absolutely. Yes. Enough. Because if you go to these countries and you see how they suffer under absolutely corrupt, made-up governments that are just criminal syndicates, great.
Yes, so there you are. That is Erik Prince, and he does not mince his words, and it is all about regime change and meddling in the affairs of independent African states. This is very disturbing, and this would have not meant anything, because it's, lots of people are entitled to say whatever they want to say, and what is disturbing is that Erik Prince is not a non-entity, is not a nobody. What he says carries weight. He has got access to influential people in the Pentagon, the American military industrial complex, and he has got influence. He is the founder of the private military company Blackwater. He essentially supplies mercenaries, and it's the largest company in the world doing that sort of thing, and he is related to the former US Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos. So what he says carries weight, and he has got some influence. The disturbing thing is that these sort of things, if they become sort of US foreign policy, or if they are implemented as part of the United States relationship with African countries, then that becomes detrimental to the African lives and how Africans themselves, their futures, collective futures, and what they can do for themselves. And the thing is that yes, we have to agree that things are not ideal in Africa. Things are not working well. We have got people like King Mswati, an absolute monarch in Switzerland, Paul Biya, who is been in power for past 40 years, Paul Kagame, who has been in charge in Rwanda for the past 30 years, Theodore Obiang, Yoweri Museveni. All these, we have to agree that things can actually be better. But it's for Africans themselves to decide who actually is fit to rule them, who is fit to run their affairs. It's not for the Americans, it's not for Western powers. And to be honest, dictatorships are not something confined to Africa. It's not an African specialty. Dictatorships are found everywhere. We've got like Kim Jong-un in North Korea. We've got Alexander Lukashenko in Belarus, and that's a European country. And you've got like Ali Khamenei in Iran. You've got Emomali Rahmon in Tajikistan. Yeah, so dictatorships are not simply what we would say is an African disease, is something peculiar to Africans. No, it's dictatorships are not found everywhere. And the United States, it's been engaging in regime change, masterminding coups for as long as anyone can remember. It's I've got an article here. It's from an organization called Responsible Statecraft, and I've accessed their website, and it says that like 15 US backed officers at the hand in 12 West African coups. That is, this is from the period when the United States started its war on terror, and it says that at least 15 US supported officers have been involved in 12 coups in West Africa and the Greater Sahel region during the war on terror. The list includes military personnel from Burkina Faso, and it goes on to list Chad in 2021, Gambia in 2014, Guinea in 2021, Mali in 2012, Mauritania in 2008, Niger in 2023. And it says that at least 5 leaders from the most recent coup in Niger had received US training, according to a United States official. Yeah. So this is the extent of the United States meddling in African governments and carrying out regime change and training military officers who have gone on to carry on coups. And so what Erik Prince has been saying is simply what the United States has been doing for as long as anyone can remember. And it's simply disturbing, and it's patronizing, it's imperialistic, it's just like carrying on as if Africans are children. Africans cannot decide for themselves who can actually rule them. And in the Democratic Republic, for instance, the CIA went on to install, at independence in 1960, they deposed the elected leader Patrice Lumumba. They killed him, and the only thing that could be found after Lumumba was killed was a golden tooth, his golden tooth. And up to today, the only thing that could be buried was just that golden tooth. And the Democratic Republic of Congo, because of meddling and interference from the United States and its Western allies, it has never experienced any stability at all. It's a basket case. People are suffering. People are living miserable lives. And that's simply because of the sort of ideas propagated by the likes of Erik Prince. And that situation cannot be allowed to go on. But then you have got what Erik Prince is saying is simply a rehashing of what the Western powers, the United States, they consider that it's the white man's burden. These are these sort of ideas where the Western powers would say, well, they're civilizing Africans, civilizing people who are regarded as uncivilized, who cannot govern themselves, and to take over those countries and essentially rule them. And that's the whole idea, and that cannot be tolerated. And people cannot go on expressing these ideas as if it's just ordinary banter. Those sort of ideas have consequences. We have seen for the past 60, 70 or so years, the Western powers, they will install puppet governments. And I've already said it. Mobutu, for instance, has been in power. He was in power for 32 years in the DRC, and was only ousted in 1997. And then, even then, they went on to install a puppet regime. And the cycle goes on and on and on and on. Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you so much for taking time to listen to this presentation. If you like this material of this kind, please subscribe. Thank you. Bye.